Good afternoon, EagleNick. Oh, this, you know what I mean, Vernon? We are live at the Whitfield County Courthouse in downtown Dalton, Georgia. Up here checking out the Avenue of Flags and the eternal flame of freedom still burning. Now, I've got some great news as far as I'm concerned anyway to report. I've seen this morning that Officer O'Neill, Alan O'Neill, the one who issued EagleNick out, it's an unlawful loitering warning, violated my constitutional rights by putting my name on a loitering warning when I'd never identified myself. Now, that is a violation of my rights. That is not the only time that he's violated people's rights. But I have seen that he did resign. Now, I'm sure the Dalton Police Department and the city of Dalton thinks that is over as far as the lawsuits that will be filed against former Officer Alan O'Neill of the Dalton Police Department for violating people's rights. But they are dead wrong. He would just had to sue as an individual. But the city of Dalton, Georgia, and the Dalton Police Department is still liable for the actions that he committed while he was a police officer for the city of Dalton. Just because he resigned don't mean that it is over. You know what I mean, Vern? United we stand, but divided we fall. I wonder if that young lady coming walking there is wanting to record me or live stream me. Good afternoon, Mr. Alan Davis. How you doing? It looks like maybe they're doing a video or live streaming or just busy looking at their phone. How are you doing this afternoon, Mr. Alan Davis? This is section 4 of the gray. Section 5, purple. But now the Whitfield County Courthouse is diagonally across from the United States Post Office in downtown Dalton, Georgia. Well, I'm doing pretty good, Alan. I've come to find out that Officer O'Neill with the Dalton Police Department has resigned. Now, I'm sure he thinks that is the end of the lawsuits that'll be coming against him, but he is mistaken. And that does not change the fact that the city of Dalton and the Dalton Police Department will have lawsuits coming against them as well. Now, this lady here, she's got her phone on me, so we're going to turn the live stream around on her. Maybe that is somebody with the city or county government. We don't know who she is. I don't know if she's just recording, but we're not recording. We are live, darling. But we have had one bad apple culled from that basket of the Dalton Police Department officers. And there's many more bad apples still in the basket. And if they are not culled as well, they will corrupt all the rest of them police officers. And it starts out with the police chief, comes all the way down to their lowest ranking officers, the ones who are nothing but patrolmen. Yeah, maybe so, Alan. I don't know. She's a pretty thing. Pretty lady. I guess she got what she was looking for. But they have the avenue of flags set up on the front lawn of the courthouse. They also have them over on the side by the Whitfield County parking deck where old EagleNick, oh, this had fell that time and broke my arm walking off that little ramp. But Officer Alan O'Neill resigned from the Dalton Police Department. Now, I hope that Zamina Arias Cristobal, I hope that her family will continue with their lawsuit against Officer Alan O'Neill, the Dalton Police Department, the city of Dalton, Georgia, Now, I'm sure they thought if that officer resigns, that would take care of their problems from the many times that he has violated people's rights. Now, that young college student may be in the country illegally, yet that does not change the fact that Officer O'Neill made false statements. He committed perjury when he did that police report where he said that he observed that black Dodge Ram pickup truck and gave that girl's tag number as being the one who had turned right on red, which was illegal when it clearly was not a black pickup truck. It was that butt ugly green pickup truck that had a big old metal toolbox on the back of it. Yeah, Officer O'Neill made false statements, committed perjury, all because he was part of that thin blue line gang of the Dalton Police Department and our crooked government. Now, like I said, I'm sure they think that will be the end of it, but that is only the beginning. Just because he resigned does not mean he cannot be sued as an individual. That does not take away the liability from the Dalton Police Department or the city of Dalton for his actions. Good afternoon, Mile High Community Channel. And a very good afternoon to you, IOC, pinned message. How you doing, brother? Great to see you again. But we have found out that Officer Alan O'Neill, who was driving vehicle number 72 with the Dalton Police Department, who gave EagleNick audits an illegal trespass warning, an illegal loitering warning for up and under the Walnut Avenue Bridge when he violated my constitutional rights. Now, I found out that he has resigned from the Dalton Police Department. I figured we got a lot better chance of seeing more of them Dalton Police Department officers being up here by the courthouse, because the Police Services Center is just one street up and over. It's less than a quarter of a mile away if you could go straight across right through yonder the way you were looking. There goes one of them corrupt mail carriers who works for Susie Rottencrotch there at the post office, who would not identify herself. Maybe we can have some more of them corrupt Dalton Police Department officers come up here and say something to EagleNick. Oh, this, you know what I mean, Vern? I said it before and I'll say it again. I'm out and about. You know what I mean, Vern? Yeah, they set up this avenue of flags up here on Memorial Day and the 4th of July. Now I have my old soup can. We're gonna put this cigar butt where I got through smoking that Cheyenne cigar in this garbage can right here, so they can't say that old EagleNick is littering. You know what I mean, Vern? We're gonna break out this here soup can and prop the phone up if we can. Hello. How you doing?
How you doing today?
Pretty good, pretty good. She walked right across where we was. Seemed to be a pretty nice lady. I guess she was taking video or pictures, I don't know. But we got the old chicken noodle soup can with us, to where I can prop that phone up. I might walk over here by the bicycle and get me a drink of that water, and I'll be right back. You know, ice cold water. Now, I hope whichever police officer gets assigned vehicle number 72 is a better police officer than Officer Alan O'Neill was, because he wasn't worth a damn. He loved to violate people's constitutional rights, and he got away with it for far too long before he was forced to resign. Here we have him. What's up? Number 57 with the Dalton Police Department. Now, he said Nick. He didn't call me by my name. We appreciate that, sir. Now, that was a good officer right there. Now, that is the one that told me when they was having that protest up there at Marjorie Taylor Greene's office. Now, I've never had any bad interaction with that police officer driving number 57. Now, I have seen him out before, and like I said, looks like he's headed on up toward the hospital, maybe up to the Whitfield County jail. He may have actually had somebody in the car taking him to jail. I don't know. Nope, I do not have a good lawyer as of yet gone fishing. I have a lawyer who has been appointed my attorney for my new trial, which is supposed to be to appeal my conviction. Mr. Joshua J. Smith here in Dalton, Georgia. Now, I'm sure the family of that 19-year-old college student is going to be filing lawsuits against Officer Alan O'Neill, the Dalton Police Department, and the city of Dalton. That was what I was saying. Just because Officer O'Neill resigned from the Dalton Police Department does not mean that he will not be held accountable. He can still be sued as an individual. That does not take away the liability from the Dalton Police Department or the city of Dalton, Georgia, just because the officer resigned. Now, EagleNick would tell you straight out that I wouldn't doubt that it was a forced resignation. I don't think Officer O'Neill resigned of his own accord because he liked to violate people's rights too much. But let's just hope that he does not just move around to some other city police department or some county sheriff's office. Maybe he can become the new mall cop, like old Paul Blart in that movie, The Mall Cop. Boy, that little car sure does run mighty quiet. It must be an electric job. Now, I have had good interactions with other Dalton Police Department officers other than the one driving number 57, but I've had more bad interactions than I have good. That live stream I was doing at the Dalton Police Services Center, where that one ununiformed officer who was wearing the khaki pants called me out by name when he asked me if I needed any water. He said he wasn't trying to be disrespectful. He was just trying to see if I needed anything to drink. Yeah, when he became a uniformed police officer, my first encounter I had with him up there in Bryman's Plaza when he had pulled somebody over, he called me by my name. That sort of made me mad, and then he tried to tell me where I could and could not stand, and that made me even madder. You know what I mean, Vern? Now, I do not take unlawful orders or directives. And then I had the interaction with the officer driving number 82, and he chose to call me by my name, and when I told him not to, he did it again anyway. Now, he was also one of the police officers that I had on the live stream and the recording up there at the store where they had that girl who has mental health problems laying on the concrete in the wet where the dumpster runoff was. But I just come up here by the courthouse downtown so we could have a look around, just see what's going on downtown. They really ain't nothing happening. All them little bars look like they might be open downtown. Vern is everybody, Vern. You know what I mean, Vern? That is just a saying made famous by Mr. Jim Varney with his character Ernest P. Worrells. When I use it liberally. That means everybody. It is not an individual. They should have started with the chief of police resigning as who needs to resign, along with Lieutenant Bishop and Lieutenant Locke with the Dalton Police Department. But there is quite a few other officers that needs to go as well. Hello, John C. How are you doing, brother? Look, what did I tell y'all about my crow buddies? Do you actually think it's a coincidence that my crow buddy is right there on that power pole? Well, John C., Officer O'Neill with the Dalton Police Department has resigned. Got one of my crow buddies up there on the power post keeping a watch out for me. How are you doing today, John C.? If there's anyone here who has not already subscribed, please be sure to do so. Double tap your screen. Brother, you can Google it. All you got to do is Google Alan O'Neill with the Dalton Police Department, and you will pull it up. I just ran across it by mistake this morning. I had Googled something and it pulled that up instead. It said that he resigned. But I figured we would see a lot more of those Dalton Police Department officers out here riding around, but I've only seen number 57 ride by. I thought maybe one of them corrupt police officers that likes to call me out by name might want to ride by and say something. You know, it's the perfect opportunity. I'm right here by the courthouse in downtown Dalton. They could send out the whole police force to have a little chat if they'd like to. I would like to ask a few of them what are their thoughts on Officer Alan O'Neill's resignation. Especially the police chief, I would like to know if he thinks just because that officer resigned that the Dalton Police Department and the city of Dalton will not be held liable for his actions as a police officer. Because I'm here to tell you they are dead wrong if they think that that is the end of their legal liability for Officer Alan O'Neill's time as a police officer for the Dalton Police Department. Now, he was investigated a couple of different times in the past few years. He was reprimanded, but they never took any other action. Now, like I said, that was not the first time that he has violated people's rights. It was just EagleNick who exposed him for what he really was. You know, I figured that they would be a lot more. I'm sorry. I'm going to go down here where I won't be distracting this little baby. That's taking pictures of a little baby up here by these monuments. And the little baby was looking around at me instead of looking at the camera. So we're going to go back here where we won't be distracting the kid. And maybe they can get the photos they're trying to get. A man and a woman just came walking up. The woman was carrying just a little baby that looked like it's not even a year old yet. But I don't guess we're going to stay here too much longer. I thought maybe we would see more Dalton Police Department officers come by. Yeah, I guess they're all avoiding this area, if you know what I mean, Vern. Had somebody blowing their horn. See if we can't change hands with the phone for a little bit. Oh, left hand's starting to get cramped up. Hope that I didn't get my hand in front of the camera this time. But I don't think we're going to stay up here too much longer. I rode uptown because somebody said they was having some kind of thing up here at Burr Park. But I did not see anybody up there. They're not having anything at Burr Park in downtown today. So I came up here by the courthouse. But I would like to thank everyone for coming on to the live stream. I pray that you all have a very blessed morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you may be. Once again, there's my crow buddy up there on top of that pole. He just flew and landed a little bit to the south. We're starting to get a little bit of wind on these flags where they might actually start doing a little bit of flying. United we stand, but divided we fall. EagleNick. Oh, this would like to thank you all. You know what I mean, Vern. Now, I pray that you all have a very blessed day. Take care of yourselves, but please take care of each other. I am EagleNick. And I'm out.